and you're joining me for a Sunday edition of Coffee Talk, number 545 live stream. It's 7 p.m. Central Time, Chicago time, and January the 4th, 2026. And we're here for another evening of coffee. I'm drinking 3-in-1. And talk. KP Heathen, my friend, how you doing? Uncle Al, died Bullfrog 79. Two of my favorite people. I hope y'all are doing well. And I know, KP, you'll be back at work tomorrow if you work this weekend. And Uncle Al's always involved with his church endeavors and such. Pat Bethia. Hello, Pat. How are you doing? And Ala Kaneda, my friend from India who is an educator. I hope you all are doing well, that you're having a fine start to the new year. And Joseph Moore, my friend. Hello, Joseph. So, lo and behold, I finally got to 2,200 and it stuck. I hit 2,200 and it went down to 21.99. And then I hit 2,200 again. It went down to 21.99. And I was talking with Dave. He says, the third time it'll stick. So then I hit 2,200 and then I hit 2,201. So last time I checked, I was at 2,201. And again, I'm drinking 3-in-1 coffee. Excellent coffee, 3-in-1 coffee. Excellent. And to tell the truth, I have been binge watching Steve 89 MRE videos. He is if you don't know who Steve 89 is, you need to. He is the godfather, the all-time GOAT of MRE reviews. Like most of these MRE reviewers, if they're lucky, they've got 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. A lot of them are like stuck around 500. And he's got over 2 million subscribers. He's the one that's just like, he's the godfather of ration reviews. And he reviews all sorts of stuff from around the world. And I binged watched several of his videos today that he had done in the last 2 or 3 months. Because I hadn't been watching his stuff. I just hadn't had time. And I just said, the hell with it, I'm just going to enjoy watching some of Steve's stuff. Yoda's Blessed Life, my friend Dave. And Unkael. How you doing, Ariki? And I did get confirmation from Enrique that he did get my package. So he did get my box. There are 9 in the house and 6 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Please don't lurk. Please let me know who you are. Are you out there, Johnny? My friend Johnny, we had breakfast yesterday. Johnny and Roberto and myself had breakfast at a local restaurant called Ramsey's. It's like old school country food. I ate a 3-egg plate. Well, actually, I did shoot. Uh, I shot video of what we all had. I just hadn't uploaded it. I shoot a lot more than I upload. I'll get around to uploading at some point. So, as we get older, mugs with our names on them help. Yeah, you gonna get a Yoda mug? I got a David mug. Mmm, excellent coffee. Why, thank you, Pat. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are here, or the newer members of the congregation that are relatively new, I do subscriber giveaways every 100 new subscribers. So I did a 2100 subscriber giveaway, and Enrique, my friend Enrique Trevino, won it. He's down in the valley. And he also won the 100 subscriber giveaway on my secondary or backup channel, which I'm really not using right now. But when I when I have time, I back up my videos from my main channel onto my backup channel. If anything ever happens, I can go back and release them. And so, seeing how I hit 2,200, I'm gonna start working on a 2,200 subscriber giveaway. Now, the way I do that is I'm gonna look at the last video that I released, my most current video, long form video, and I'm gonna write down the name of every person who leaves me a nice comment. And then I'm gonna backtrack 4 more videos. Each one, check off. Did they leave me a comment? Did they not leave me a comment? So after I backtrack all 5, got all 5 videos, whoever left me a nice comment, and I assume a like on each of those 5 videos, those people will qualify to have their name put in my hat. And I got a nice camouflage hat that I basically use for that. And I will do a drawing, and whoever wins will get a nice box from me. Look at one of my prior giveaways, and you'll see the type of stuff that I give out. So, Pat, I don't know if you have. I know that SD Mountain Man was working on it because I saw he had left comments on several of my back. I get notifications. Even though I hadn't commented, I don't have time to comment on everything. But even though I hadn't commented, I saw where he had been leaving comments on videos. So I'm pretty sure he wants to be in that drawing. Pat, you can be in that drawing. Just make sure you go back to each of those 5 and leave me because I'll start working on it probably tomorrow evening or the day after. I don't normally do streaming during the week. I'll release 2 or 3 shorts every day. I release a few shorts. Mostly it's stuff like I eat. I did a short today that I'll release of me buying gas for my car, and it shows the price of gas and everything. That'll be something that I will release. Mom of 4 boys. Hello, Rachel. But a lot of the people who are, my most, the ones that are really faithful to watch most of my stuff, or they're there, most of them have won at least once, some twice. Uncle Al, I think, has won twice. And then we send each other boxes. It's just like Dave. Dave has won. We send each other stuff. And I think I probably owe Dave a box, and I want to beat Uncle Al to it. He's working on one he's going to send me, so I need to send him one. But, we send each other stuff. Joseph Moore has sent me a real nice backpack with survival stuff in it. I hadn't forgotten about that, Joseph. I'm going to get you back. And I am working on putting stuff together. So now that I'm back at work starting tomorrow, I really won't be if I'm going to mail something, it's going to be on a Saturday. So it'll probably be next Saturday before I mail whoever wins this one. I'll try to work on it this week. It'll probably be this next Saturday before I get to mail their box. So sometimes in the next 2 years they'll get it. The way the mail runs. Sometimes in the next 2 years they'll get it. 9 in the house, 6 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. I am overrun with cases of stuff. There is a possibility that we will move to be near our daughter, in which case, God help me, I'm gonna have to have a couple of climate-controlled storages temporarily until I can get everything positioned where I need to get it positioned. You know, you sell a house, you buy a house, you got to make the move and everything. I'll probably wind up getting a pod, something that I don't have to worry about, you know, for all my other junk that I don't have to worry about climate control. But then I have to have climate control for a lot of stuff that's temperature sensitive. So I'll have to have at least 1 and maybe 2 storage units temporarily until I can get situated into a new residence. But then that's going to be down the road. You know, that might be this summer or might be next year. I don't know. I got lots of stuff I need to do. Yeah, I'm joking about next 2 years. The mail runs really slow. When they say it's going to take 3 days, it takes 5 or 6, and then they have taken the better part of a month. One time I thought it was lost, and I thought I was going to have to do another one. Then Mike Crusher told me that the horse pulled up, Pony Express. He got to pet the horse, and they delivered his box. It took about a month to get it. Went to Ohio, and it took about a month to get that box. And I don't know what the hell happened, but the postal system is not what it used to be. It is not what it used to be. But I've enjoyed my Christmas break. Other than those 6 days that the wife was in the hospital, she's still recovering. And I just got through making her a nice. Made her some beef, some rice with black beans, and she's drinking some Milo sweet tea. I can't drink that, but then I'm cheating because I'm drinking 3-in-1 coffee, and it's sweet because it's got sugar in it. So I'm being a bad boy. Being a bad boy. I am. She is back to eating. Yes, she is. Yes, I get most of my broccoli at Squillicle. They usually have broccoli in the salad bar, and I usually grab some broccoli from the salad bar. So I will make sure and I'll eat some broccoli. I haven't been eating school breakfast because of all the sweets. Normally what I do for breakfast, I'll have a couple of cups of coffee without any sugar in it. And I will have a couple of packs of unsweetened or low sugar Quaker oatmeal. I get the low sugar version. I'll have a couple of packs of that, and that'll be breakfast. And then depending on what they have for lunch, I eat the school lunch, or sometimes I'll eat some soup, or I'll have something. Right now, she's not in any pain. She's not in any pain right now, which is a blessing. It's a blessing she's not in any pain. And she is recovering, Nicole. She is recovering. She's getting back to her old self. So I thought today, I talked a lot about what happened with that raid down in Venezuela yesterday, and I'm sure there were a few people here that probably didn't like the fact that it happened. So I'm not going to talk about that today. But what I would like to talk about is one of the things that's near and dear to my heart is the wall construction. And I'm sure there'll probably be some people who say, I don't care about the wall, or I don't care about wall construction, or whatever. But I wanted to cover, normally, like sometimes, most of the time when I'm doing topics, Uncle Al sends me topics, but he's been busy. He's got his own issues to deal with. And I certainly understand that. So when I don't get topics from Uncle Al, and sometimes Dave will come up with a couple of topics for me, and I'll research them and I'll do Dave's topic. Or he'll send me something other, and I'll watch it, and then I'll take notes on it, and then it'll be a topic. Well, today I wanted to fall back on and I'll do a news update on it, but I want to talk a little bit at first for my first topic. That's going to take a few minutes. I wanted to talk about the state of the border wall and border wall construction and what they're doing. To begin with, the U.S. Mexico southern border is approximately 1,954 miles long. That's 3,145 kilometers. A kilometer is about 60% of a mile. A little over half a mile. A kilometer is a little over half a mile, 60% of a mile. With about 1,254 miles marked by the Rio Grande. So the Rio Grande River, which basically pours into the Gulf of Mexico or America or whatever you want to call it, along our Texas-Mexico border. The Rio Grande is about 1,254 miles of that 1,954 miles. That leaves about 700 miles further along to get to the Pacific coast. Horse. No, it's not really. There's some places where it's pretty good, and there's some places where you can basically just wade across. It's not that, you know, it's not that great. Um, so border wall construction is ongoing. They're focusing on that 30-foot baluard where they got to dig down. They got to trench, and they gotta do forms. They put forms in, then they pour concrete, and it's got to hold those 30-foot high ballards. You know, if you've seen the construction. Um, it's what they call smart wall. You can see through it, but also they put lighting and cameras so that they can monitor it. It's got sensors. So if somebody did manage to try to climb over it, and it's possible somebody who's very athletic could scale it, but your average person or most of your people would not do so. Israel's got a really impressive concrete wall. Israel's not near, it doesn't have near as much wall, but it's got a couple hundred miles of wall. And, and it's a bigger, solid wall. Every once in a while, somebody scales that damn thing. They manage to get over that thing. But only, they have like maybe 4 or 5 incidents in a year. So, anyway, so they're using technology, and they're working on completing gaps. So one of the things that they do, and one of the things that they have to do when they're building this wall, is they have to get an easement A lot of times they have to purchase property. They have to pay somebody in order to put in order to build wall across land that they have. And the wall is not exactly on the exact border. Sometimes it's half a mile uh, inland from the river, or it's not directly on the border. So you have somebody who's got property, and you're basically saying, well, I'd like to put a wall in the middle of your property, separating your property. Sometimes they get really pissed about that. Funny. It's a funny one, Enrique. Yeah, claymores. That's a good one. Mine it, yeah. You could do that. Like between Korea, their DMZ and Korea, it's highly. They got they're separated. They got fencing. They got minefields. They got sensors. They're patrolled. They trust me that it works. You know, and there are other places that have. That's just like the Dominican Republic. They've got a big fence up. You know, Haiti and the Dominican Republic are on the same island. Just half the island here and half the island there, and Haiti's a hellhole, and Dominican Republic is a paradise, or close to it. And they've got a fence. They got a big wall, fenced off along, separating, you know, Dominican Republic from Haiti. They patrol that. They don't want those people coming over. So don't say it's just us that's building a wall. I mean, there are lots of walls around the world. Like the Great Wall of China was basically built to try to keep the Mongols out, from attacking the peaceful Chinese back in the day when they were peaceful. Hello, Melinda Elliott. How are you doing? Thank you for coming. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Oh, Miss Anne Marie Angel. Hello, how you doing? I tell you what, when I think of Anne Marie, I think of those big puzzles she's always doing. She's doing a 1,000-piece puzzle right now. She and Gary. Well, yeah, the Maginot Line wasn't successful. That's true. That's true. So anyway, um, they're working on gaps, and they're building new wall. They've got contracts right now. They're building new wall, and they're working on closing gaps. And I mean, during the previous administration, what was so sad? They got lots of gates, and they can drive through, so they can drive through them. They had lots of gates. They had all the damn gates open. What goes a wall when you have all the gates open? Oh, because they wanted people to come in. They really did. They felt like that was Democrat voters, future Democrat voters, and they wanted them to come in. Oh no, you can't shut the gate. No, 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 no. They fought. That's just like Texas. Oh man, Governor Abbott's so damn pissed off. It's a wonder he doesn't hunt Biden down. Even though Biden's out of office, but just what they were doing. What they were doing. And Texas is building wall too. Texas is building sections of wall. They bought a lot of the materials that Biden wanted to sell that had previously been purchased by the Trump administration but hadn't been used. Biden administration stopped construction on the wall. They stopped construction of the stuff that had already been paid for. And the government lost a lot of money just wasting that they had paid for stuff, and they didn't let them do it. And then they were trying to sell the materials for like 10 cents on the dollar. and the state of Texas bought up a bunch of it, and then Biden got real pissed off because he found out that Texas was the ones that was buying it and they were going to use it. You know, it was a big fight. It was a big fight. You know, Texas deployed the National Guard. They built a big camp on the border. They had, Department of Public Safety. Um, they had a bunch of, everybody was down there trying to stop them from coming across, the border. They were putting up concertina wire. They were doing all sorts of stuff. Oh, and then, and then the Biden administration had border patrol, and they were cutting concertina wire to let the bastards come through. Excuse my language. Just absolutely disgusting. There's so many of them. They fly all sorts of flags. They don't want the U.S. flag. They don't want to follow U.S. law. Those people want to follow Sharia law. So if you see Uncle Al wearing a burqa, you'll know they got him. Uncle Al wearing a burqa. Actually, that's for they expect women to dress like that. They don't expect men to dress like that. But uh, oh Lord have mercy, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time with this one. So anyway, um, so U.S. Customs and Border Patrol have been awarding new contracts in late 2025 for miles of primary, secondary, and waterborne barriers. They're putting barriers out in the deeper sections of um, they're putting barriers in the middle of the Rio Grande River in some of the deeper sections to try to keep them from trying to come across on a raft or a boat or anything. They can't get over the barrier, when they're out there in the river. It's very dangerous. Um, and they're using advanced detection systems across sectors like Del Rio, Laredo, Rio Grande Valley, while addressing environmental reviews and legal challenges, because they're getting legal challenges. The liberals are trying to do everything they can to prevent them from building the wall. Uncle Al has a fez. Good, good Uncle Al. You wear your fez. Oh Jesus Christ! With all the Somali shenanigans, at least Mexicans aren't looking so bad anymore. At least people like our food. Um, I firmly embrace the Tejano culture. Both of my wives have been Hispanic. My first wife, who divorced, I have a daughter with, and she's the one that gave me a grandchild in December. And then a picture of Santa with my grandson. His name is Ulysses. And no, that's not me. That's Santa. That's not me. Um, Food, forest permaculture. Good night. Did you sneak in and you're going out? How you doing, Hallie? Please leave a like before you leave if you're going to leave. I think Howie's a Canadian. He probably doesn't like me talking about walls and some of the stuff that I'm talking about. He seems to be a little bit more of a tree hugger. Nothing wrong with that. God bless him. He's a nice person. So so again, and we'll go on to another topic, but let me just finish up with a couple of points. The southern border is approximately 1,954 miles or 3,145 kilometers long, with about 1,254 miles marked by the Rio Grande River. 438 miles of wall was built during Trump's first term. So they built 438 miles of wall, Trump did. And then they gave him unholy hell, trying to prevent him from doing it, trying to prevent him from, they would not fund it. They would have got a lot more done, and they paid for a lot more in the end. But the Biden administration, the Democrats, just did everything they could to try to prevent them from building a wall. And you saw how bad it was. One of the reasons why they got their butts kicked in the election so bad was that everybody was very upset about, the crap that they were doing. And there's been a wall down here for as long as I can remember. I don't know why people were so shocked. They were planning on building one on DJT first term. Yeah. And then as of late 2025, there are about 702 miles of primary border wall that have been built. So there, the border is about 1,954 miles long, and there's about 702 miles of border wall. So there are a lot of places that do not have wall. But then there are a lot of places that are like out in the desert and there's nothing out there on either side of the border. And you try to go across it and you probably die of, heat stroke and lack of water. And they find a lot of bodies. People trying to cross in areas that's really bad. Yeah, to a large extent, they're anti-traditional values. They're all a bunch of woke tree huggers. They think they can stop environmental change. They think right is on their side. They think they're right about everything. You can't reason with them. They get very upset. They take things personally. They blame my ancestors for everything. Well, let me say this. I know my father's family, part of it is from the north and part of it's from the south. A significant part of the family directly from where my father came from was in Georgia. I heard stories about my father. My father was born in 1913. He grew up, he remembers going as a teenager. He went with his father to go buy their first vehicle. They always had horses. They had wagons. They had a fairly nice wagon you could halfway call a carriage, that they would go to town, and that, you could, a little bit nicer version of that, you could take the family to town, Saturday or whatever. And he went with his father to buy his first Ford. And he told me stories about that when he was a teenager. My grandfather died in 1932 at the age of 49. He had a heart attack. They called it Bright's disease. It's high blood pressure. And they didn't have blood pressure medication back then. He was 49. Very affluent man. My father talked about he had a mammy growing up. They had servants. They had a black lady who was a cook. They had a cleaning lady. They lived on the property in little shacks. From like the way things were back in the day. I grew up on stories about that. And he was born on the ranch / farm. My mother was born on the Odom ranch / farm in Odom, Texas. They weren't born in hospitals. And that's the way things were, back then. If my father were alive today, he'd be 112, 113 years old. 113 years old. So, you know, but that's the way things were. So I'm supposed to feel bad because a couple of hundred years ago, going on a couple hundred years ago, they had slavery. Well, they still have slavery. There's slavery in Africa. There's slavery in the Middle East. There's slavery in Asia. They still have slavery. Slavery's still practiced. You know, is there everybody screaming about those people? I'm sorry, did a rant. Is that where you're from, Pat? Georgia? I keep telling you, check my email, send me your mailing address, and I will do something pleasant for you. And don't forget, last 5 videos, you might win a really nice box. Yeah, very hot areas, very hot. So that's basically what I want to talk about the border walls. It is under construction. They're working on it, and it's not going to be done this year. It's not going to be done next year. It's going to take a while. It'll probably be finished in the next administration. I mean, they'll get a significant amount done because they're building as fast as they can. There's about 6 or 7 places right now where they're building wall. They got 6 or 7 projects going in different areas where they're building wall, and it's a slow process. It really is a slow process. What they're doing and the way they're building it, and they're building it to last. It takes time to build that damn thing. It really does, And they've got the funding for it, so I mean they're getting that done. One of the things I talked about, another topic I talked about is reopening 3 Mile Island. They're going to reopen one of the 4 reactors. They want to basically Microsoft is going to be using the power to basically power a data center. They're going to build a massive data center right near it, and they're going to use Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They're going to use the power from that reactor to power a data center. Now, the thing about data centers is that they need enormous amounts of power, and the power grid is such that we really do not have the spare power for what they're wanting to do. So they have to have more sources of power in order to do it. And that's one of the things that we were talking about. Something else, I'd like to talk about is, they talk about polling. Polling. I've been looking at polling, and the elections in 26, the midterm elections. Right now, there are predictions in AI predictions. The Republicans will retain the Senate. They may even pick up a seat or 2, but they should basically at least maintain what they have. Now, it's true that what they're saying is they're predicting that one Republican is going to one Republican Senate seat will be lost to the Democrats, and then the Republicans will flip one Democrat Senate seat. They're saying a worst case scenario. But theoretically, the Republicans could pick up a couple of more Senate seats. Right now it stands at 53. The Republicans have 53 seats. And then the Democrats, the independents, the ones that are aligned with them, have 47. As far as the House is concerned, you've got a lot of redistricting going on right now. They're still in the process of doing redistricting. And well, I tell you what, Enrique, they are building wall in that area right now. That's one of the areas that they're really working to build wall. They're they've got crossovers, but they're working to build wall in that area in Laredo right now. You've got Laredo and you got Nueva Laredo, you know, and I've been there, you know. I haven't been there since they've been building wall, but I have been there, you know. And you could basically just walk across the border as far as that's concerned, you know. A lot of places that just you got streets along there, you know, like you can just go from one street to the other. Um, yeah, and you know the grid. When you overload the grid, you start having brownouts, and you start having to shunt power, and you start they start shutting down sections of the grid. You know, they have to reallocate, and they basically they'll do what they call like a roving brownout. You know, where you'll be out of power for a couple hours, and then they turn the power back on for you, and then somebody else goes out, loses power for a couple hours. You know, yeah, they have that happen occasionally. Laredo Taco Company in Laredo. You're making me hungry. You're making me hungry. Um, the farther south I go, the better the food is. I can just tell you that. It is what it is when it comes to that, my friend. So, oh Lord, I tell you, right now, everybody's talking about buying silver and buying gold. I would not buy gold. For one thing, gold is so expensive. You buy a small quantity of it, and it's just absolute. If you're looking at a grid down situation where you have to do bartering, I would much rather have like silver dollars or silver quarters or silver dimes. You know, at one time, they basically, a quarter was basically silver. A dime, you could get a dime that was basically silver. And, you buy them now. You get a roll of like silver quarters, and it's like $500, for a roll of them because of the cost of silver. And Gary, how are you doing? Well, I don't buy coins. I don't buy numismatics. I don't. I have a few, but I don't buy them. And but there are people. That's what they do. They buy gold. They buy silver. They buy platinum. You know, and they collect it. A lot of times they buy certificates, but the advice is if you're going to buy it, make sure you have the physical gold or silver. Don't just get a certificate. Make sure you have the real thing. And then it's better to invest in lead and gunpowder. In that regard, I'm blessed, Enrique. I'm blessed. I've got plenty of that. Plenty. I've got a pretty nice little collection, and yeah, and I got plenty of ammunition for what I have. How are you doing, Gary? Thank you for coming. I was teasing Gary today. He was saying he paid. I think he paid $52 for an 8 pound turkey. Which 8 pound turkey is a small turkey. We had a 23-pound turkey. We had a 23-pound turkey for Christmas. 23-pound. And we paid about $1 a pound. I think a little over $1 a pound. And he was saying that for an over in the UK, they wanted $52 for an 8-pound turkey, and I was teasing him saying an 8-pound chicken. It was, you thought it was a turkey, it was actually a chicken, and I was teasing him about that. Said that's a lot of money for a chicken. Yeah, you got to. Yeah. Yeah, you want to teach the kid how to use a weapon for self-defense. I am constantly chipping nails, and I'm constantly filing. Dagnabbit. So I will be back at work tomorrow. I get up around 4:30. I'll be physically at my campus probably by 6:30. I'll get off about 4:30, a little bit before 4:30. Take me about 30 minutes to drive home. And I'll do that Monday through Friday, and then we'll be back for another weekend. The next significant holiday I'll have a week off for spring break, and that will be in between the quarters, pretty much. In between the when we end of the second and between the second, or excuse me, between the third and the fourth quarter, because we're in a quarter system. So the fall basically had 2 9-week quarters. It was first semester, and then Thanksgiving we had a week off. Then we had 2 weeks off for Christmas, 16 days actually, and then we'll have a week off for spring break. And then towards the end of May, school will be out for a couple of months. We have summer break. It's one of the reasons why I do not want to work as an administrator anymore, because when I was an administrator, I would have to work in summer. They would do 4-day work weeks, so you'd work 4 10s, but you'd have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, which is nice. But then you got to basically be at work, and then technically you only take a 30-minute lunch. The administrators normally get an hour lunch. So, it is what it is. But that's where I'm at. So I am working on trying. I'll be working on trying to get the. Yeah, I know it's extremely late, and I really, I am blessed to have people like Anne Marie and Gary and Julie West coming in, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning over there, and they're supporting my channel. I really am blessed and appreciate what they do, and I try to give back as much as I can. Verna, Vay's Place, how you doing, young lady? Vay was the recipient of a box here a while back. Took her probably about a month to get the damn thing. The way the postal system works. I think it was a Pony Express rider that showed up. She got to pet the horse. One of those kind of things. Yeah, I pray I have a blessed school year too. I do. 10 in the house. 13 likes. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I got to work on the subscriber giveaway. What I have to do is I have to make a list of who commented on the last video, and then I backtrack 4 more. So if you haven't done so, I'm giving you lots of opportunities. I'll probably start working on it tomorrow evening after I get home and I feel like doing something other. I'll start working on that, trying to put together the list of who's qualified. I got to put together a video, of it. I have to get all my stuff together. Like, I've been putting these. This will go in the box. And I put a copy of the Constitution. That'll go in the box. Constitution, Bill of Rights. There'll be means to make fire, heat water. There'll be a nice little boo-boo kit in it. And I'll probably put, hey, Creative Redundancy, how are you doing? Thank you for coming. Another milestone. Now, mind you, I have been monetized since December the 1st, 2024. I've been monetized that long. We're now January the 4th, 26. So that's over a year. That's over a year. I'm just now at the point where they're going to owe me a check, or however they're going to do it. They owe, right now, my channel has brought in a little over $98. So at some point in time, in the next whatever, it'll go over the 100 mark. And there are a lot of times that I have over 50,000 views in a month. When I'm active, I get a lot of views, and I get a lot of watch hours. And I'm just now at the point where I'll get my first check. I don't ask people to send me money. I don't do super chats. I don't do memberships. I don't sell merchandise. If I ever have merchandise, like if I make a mug or something other, I'll probably give it away. I'm not really into shirts with decals and stuff on it. Here I am. I got a bunch of black t-shirts. That's my, you see me out and about, I'm usually wearing a black t-shirt, some slacks or some warm-ups or something other, some shorts. That's the way I use it when I'm not working. If I'm not going to a church function or I'm not working, that's basically how you see me. Very, very casual, the way I'm dressed right now. SD Mountain Man, how are you doing, Scott? Thank you for coming. I see where you were making comments, so I'm pretty sure you probably want to be in that drawing. Just make sure that you have left me a comment on each of the last 5. I got notices where you had left some comments, so I appreciate that. I've sent Scott something in the past, and I don't recall whether he was one of my winners or not. I can't remember, because I do one every 100, so I don't physically remember each person that won, but I pretty much remember people that I sent you something at some point. People remember I was the 500 subscriber winner, or something other, like that. And I think Claudette was the 500th subscriber winner. She's up in Canada. And again, there won't be that many people that'll be in the drawing. This last time there was only 8. When I did the 100 subscriber giveaway, in which Enrique won, it was the first time he won something. And he had been participating for the longest time and had never won. But there were only 6 names in the hat that day, and he had 2 of them because he had 2. He was qualified in 2 different channels, so he had a 1 in 3 chance of winning. And lo and behold, he won. He was the 100 subscriber winner on my backup channel. And I'm not really pursuing my backup channel right now. I just basically use it to back stuff up. When I think to, I'll put stuff on my backup channel in private, and if anything ever happens, I can release it on my backup channel if I wanted to regrow a channel, which I don't think I'd ever, bother doing that if something were to happen to my channel. I don't really think I'd do that, but you never can tell. It's a hobby. And right now, I think my backup channel has about 114 subscribers. And yeah, I could grow that. I could get that channel up to several hundred, without too much trouble. But, why I'm basically just focusing on the main channel. The other thing, is, and, there are people like Susanna Morrison, beautiful young lady. She was on last night, giving me support. She's got over 40,000, and she's got a backup channel, but she's got over 40,000 subscribers. My friend Dave, he's at 41 something now. I mean, we let each other know where we're at, and like, hey, I picked up 3. Well, I picked up 300. It's not quite the same, but he's growing over 100 a day. Really, he's picking up over 100 subs a day. Whereas on a day when I'm doing good, I pick up 2 or 3 subs, and he picked up over 100. God bless him. I mean, more power to him. But burgers and brats, wonderful. Sounds delicious. It sounds delicious. I bet you are stuffed. I made beef and white rice and black beans for my wife for supper. I feed her well. I make her really nice breakfast. I'll make a breakfast for her before I go to work in the morning. I'll make sure she eats. And there's stuff for her to eat. And, she can drive, and she can go if she wants to. She's got money in her account, and she can go and wants to do a little shopping, or she wants to go get something. Airmail plate. Oh, funny. So Pat, you're in the Atlanta area or the Georgia area. Have you ever been to the Varsity? They have the best hot dogs on the planet. And yeah, I do root for Atlanta, my baseball team. My Aunt Marie, may she rest in peace, gave me a real nice jacket that I wear, baseball jacket. Nice that I wear, and I'm a real big, when I do watch baseball, that's my team. Take care, Uncle Al. God bless. Appreciate you. I have really been enjoying talking this evening, the way things have been going. I appreciate the support I'm getting, and I do try to get back. I will be working on my subscriber giveaway. Remember, if you want to be in the drawing, you need to leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos that I've done, long form videos. And in the last month or so, I've done 5 videos. The furthest back, the number 5, I think, is the unboxing that I did on my Blue Eddy power station that I had purchased. I purchased another one of the same type. So my wife has one out in the kitchen. I have one, here. I need to charge it up, and then I've got a smaller size one that I basically use for all my little tablets and phones and various things, and right here next to me. So I will be back Friday. I'll try to release 2 or 3 shorts every day. Appreciate you supporting them. And I'll be doing, the next video I'll do will be my subscriber giveaway, and then I promised Dave I'll be doing the menu number 4, MRE menu number 4 spaghetti, which is my favorite US MRE. Got it all ready, just need to do it. And life is good, and I'm blessed, and hopefully, I pray for y'all, and I pray for my family, and I pray for peace. I pray for health. I hope everybody, stays healthy and stays safe. Make good decisions. You need to have a couple of weeks worth of canned food, bottled water, your medication. You need to be prepared in case something happens. Things happen. Have a couple of good flashlights with batteries. Have a good radio with batteries. Have a good pocket knife. Have some lighters, candles. Be able to support yourself in case something happens. And everybody, remember the Scout motto is be prepared. And everybody have a blessed day, and hopefully we'll see you again this coming Friday for another edition of Coffee Talk. I really enjoyed this one. Thank you. Everybody have a blessed week. Had fun.